All right, welcome back. Let's continue the Steelers talk here. And there's some free agents, some good ones that potentially can help the Steelers out there. They brought in Trey Turner last week, Malik Hooker a couple weeks ago, and Chris Mueller. Do they sign either one of these guys? I know what the Steelers are doing. They're up against the cap here. They're looking for a bargain deal. One of these guys could be. They're not signed yet.
Trey Turner would be pretty interesting, not only because of what he had in his past as far as being a Pro Bowl caliber player before he was racked by injuries and just not good last year. The Trey Turner thing would be very interesting because of what it might mean for David DeCastro, who I mentioned earlier. If they were to make a play for a guy like that a little bit later on here, because I'm not sure it's urgent that he's going to get signed by somebody else, that would signify that they think there's something legitimately wrong with DeCastro that might hamper him all year or flat out preclude him, from playing. So that one is one I'm watching very specifically, not for what it means for Trey Turner and the Steelers, but what it means for DeCastro. As for Malik Hooker, that feels like local guy due diligence. I mean, if they're going to tweak their system a little bit here and they're going to play Minka as a slot corner like I've heard bandied about, then maybe you'd look at Malik Hooker and bring him in as a safety, but he's oft injured. That just feels more like, hey, he went to Newcastle, he was really good, we should kick the tires here.
Yeah, you've kind of seen the Steelers in recent seasons, the last 5 or 6 seasons, be a lot more, I guess, aggressive. I don't know how you can say you're aggressive when you're making moves in July and June and August. But in this kind of, remember, they acquired Vance McDonald and Joe Hayden. They made about 3 trades on cutdown day a few years back, bringing the J.J. Wilcoxes of the world, things like that. So I feel like that's something they didn't really do too often until maybe this past half decade or so. And, with the strange offseason, with the strange cap constraints they had on them, particularly on the Steelers, and just with the cap being as it was and with the NFL free agency, there's going to be guys more so than usual that probably do slip through the cracks. You're seeing probably a couple of them here. Those are, safety is certainly a position of need for depth, that's for sure. And you could probably even say the offensive line is a position you need for depth. Now, DeCastro, that's something maybe you do wait and see. Obviously, I'm sure they know more than we do in terms of what might be or what is potentially ailing to David DeCastro. If there's anything there that has any legs to be long-term. But you still have, again, you have a month here. You have until, I keep wanting to say Latrobe, but we don't know if it'll be Latrobe. It'll probably be Latrobe, training camp in the preseason. And I think that's, especially with a veteran like that, somebody you can probably plug and play and have him join the team during the preseason.
My kids love to go thrifting. And most of the time when they go thrifting, they come back with crap. But every once in a while, they find something that's really cool that they bought at a cheap price that they can wear and is effective clothing for them for a few years. And I think it's smart for the Steelers to do this. Why not? And I think it also reminds maybe guys that are battling for a job, or even a guy like Dotson who thinks, okay, I've got this job, it's sewn up, that, hey, they're still looking for guys that play my position. I don't think that can be a bad thing. I wouldn't mind them to go thrifting at tight end, look at linebacker. I mean, there are areas where they can look out. It costs you nothing. And even if you take a chance on one of these guys, it's probably going to be on a salary that's very manageable, something they could fit under their cap. You try it out. If it doesn't work, you release them at the end of training camp. I don't think it's ever a bad thing to go see what's out there.
Chris Mueller, why wouldn't you do it sooner rather than later? I know sometimes they wait until training camp's over to sign some guys, but do it now so they're there for training camp, because these are the 2 positions of need for the Steelers right now. I think offensive line and secondary are the 2 weaknesses.
I mean, I think that you could make an argument for doing it right now, but the other caveat with that is the guy that you're maybe after has to be willing to sign with you, right? Some of these guys might just be looking for a better situation that might open itself up in training camp because a guy goes down with a season-ending injury and suddenly there's a depth concern. So I think you have to look at both sides of the equation and think that maybe some of these players are doing these visits, but they're not necessarily in a rush to sign because they know that there are going to be spots that open up and more crystallize as a need for teams if they wait a month or 2.
All right, well, we're going to take a break, guys. Coming up next, a little Bucco fever. Talk about what happened in today's game. Also, I want to get into what's going on with the pitchers in Major League Baseball. A little cheating scandal going on, but that's going to end tomorrow. Coming up in a couple minutes.